Sony's PlayStation 5 versus Microsoft Xbox's Series ZZZ. Which next-gen console do you plan on getting? Well, that's if you can actually get your hands on one. Sony's pre-orders went live shortly after they announced the console's prices, and those things sold out quick. But I gotta say, this is shaping up to be one of the most interesting and exciting console launches ever. I honestly don't know how the sales battle between the PlayStation and Xbox is going to shape up at the end of this year, as well as down the line looking a couple years ahead. So help me draw some conclusions. If you know what console you're going to be getting, share it in the comments. If you don't know what console you're going to get and you're kind of confused, I'm here to help you with that. In this video, we're going to be going over the specs and differences between each of the 4 different consoles, because we finally have all the necessary info that we need to know to make our purchasing decision, minus one thing. And it has to do with the storage solutions for next gen. And I'm kind of worried that they haven't announced all the details on that yet. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Let's start off with the launch dates and the prices for each of the 4 consoles. Starting with Sony, their consoles will be launching on November 12th in the US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea, and then on November 19th for the rest of the world. There are 2 versions of the consoles. Both of them have the same hardware, the same specs in them. The only difference is one has a disk drive and one doesn't have a disk drive. The disk drive version of the PS5 retails at $499.99, US dollars that is, and then the disk drive-less version will run you $399.99, so a $100 difference there. Both versions of the Xbox consoles will be launching on November 10th, a couple days earlier than the PS5. And this is great news if you're a Call of Duty fan, because both consoles will be available before Cold War launches this November. And if you are a Call of Duty fan, well, you're in the right place. I upload a ton of different content, so I suggest checking a few videos out after this one. And if you like what you see, consider subscribing. And for everyone watching the video, drop a like if you're enjoying the video so far. Now back to the Xbox. The Series X is your top of the line high performance graphics console that will run you $499.99. And then the dialed back Series S will run you $299.99. And I think that is going to sell like hotcakes. There also is the Xbox All Access payment plan, which you can pay $35 a month for 24 months with no interest, and you get the Xbox Series X on day 1 plus the Game Pass Ultimate. And for $25 a month for 24 months, you get the Series S with Game Pass Ultimate. Now, Game Pass Ultimate gives you Xbox Live Series Gold, so you can play online, as well as access to a huge library of games, which includes the newly added EA games library, like all the sports games. I believe Star Wars, the Battlefront, and all those games are going to be on there. Halo, as well as Gears, Minecraft, Forza, so many other games. And with Game Pass Ultimate, you can play a select number of those games on PC and Android phones. So let's dive into the specs with the Series X. Again, I said this is going to be the most powerful console ever. Better specs than the PS5, which means better graphics. You're getting your 4K 60 FPS gaming up to 120 frames per second with ray tracing and HDR. It comes with that 4K Blu-ray drive and most notably a 1 terabyte SSD. Now, the Series S is the same core hardware as the Series X, just tuned down. There's a less powerful GPU, less RAM, and you're only getting a 512 gigabyte SSD. This console does not target 4K gaming. You're targeting 1440p, 60 FPS, up to 120 FPS again. And this is a truly next-gen experience. Some people may think this is a step down, especially if you own like an Xbox One X right now, because that can do 4K resolution, but the Series S has ray tracing tech baked into it, which is very high end, as well as that fast SSD, so you're going to notice much faster loading times and just better performance with games on the Series S compared to, previous generations of consoles. And again, I want to reiterate, no disk drive with the Series S. PlayStation 5, again, same console. The only difference is the disk drive and not having a disk drive. That more expensive version does have a 4K Blu-ray drive in it. You're getting 4K 60 FPS gaming up to 120 frames per second with the ray tracing and HDR. It has an 825 gigabyte SSD as well, which is a bit smaller than the Series X. Hardware overall just isn't as powerful in the PlayStation 5 as the Series X, and I predict it's going to boil down to running a game at like mid, high versus max settings on PC. The one thing that is better in the PlayStation 5 is the SSD. The load times in the PlayStation 5's SSD, they got those speeds up to nearly 2 times faster than the Series X. I'm curious to see how this affects games. Obviously, games will load faster, but they've said these new SSDs can act as like RAM and extra memory for your console, and I'm wondering if that will affect visual fidelity or not on the PlayStation 5. We'll have to wait and see because they're being super secret. Both manufacturers being super secretive about their SSD tech, which is kind of annoying because the SSDs are going to be a problem in next generation. I shouldn't say SSD, storage is going to be a problem. So again, you have 1 terabyte, 815 gigabytes, or 512 gigabytes of storage internally at launch for whichever console you decide to go with. Next gen games are likely going to be like big. Modern Warfare in the current gen consoles is about 200 gigabytes in size, and I'm expecting these next gen games to be around that size, if not way larger during these first couple years here. You're gonna need more storage at some point in the next generation, and you can't just go out and buy any old hard drive or SSD to use. On the Series X, I'm not exactly sure if this is going to be the same on the PS5, but I would assume. But on the Series X consoles, if you want to play a game with next-gen graphics and that next-gen experience with the load times and all that, they need to be played on that internal proprietary SSD. You can play regular Xbox games on a normal hard drive or normal SSD, and you can store Series X games on normal drives and normal SSDs, but you can't play them there. If you want to play a Series X game with the graphics, it has to be on that internal proprietary SSD. Now, hot swapping games between that internal SSD and any hard drive you have like right now may be a viable option with how fast these next-gen drives are, but we'll have to wait and see. Nothing's confirmed right now because they won't tell us any details. And the reason for this, not sure if I said this or not, but it's good to reiterate, is that these SSDs inside these next-gen consoles are custom proprietary tech. It's the secret sauce to the next consoles, and they're not cheap to manufacture. Now, Xbox has revealed some images of their 1 terabyte expansion card. Sony has yet to give us any details on their expansion card, but there was a retail leak for Seagate's exclusive 1 terabyte expansion card for the next-gen Xbox Series consoles. And you want to know how much that leak said these drives are going to cost for 1 terabyte of storage? Around $200. And another rumor is that PlayStation's drives, because they're so much faster than the Xbox Series X, are going to be more expensive to make, which likely means storage for PlayStation is going to be more expensive than the Xbox. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Either way, I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be an issue. Hands out, 100% will guarantee you right now. I'll bet you my left nut on it. And they're probably not announcing anything because it's bad news and they don't want to make people upset before they get their pre-orders in for these next-gen consoles. But it'd be nice to know, Sony and Microsoft, so people can start planning accordingly. Like if you're planning to get a Series S with that 512 gigabyte internal drive, and you're not going to be playing as many games, you have your 1 or 2 titles you play a lot, you should be fine. But if you play multiple titles, your Series S is going to fill up fast, especially with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So it may be worth it in the end to pay the extra $200 to get the Series X for the extra storage. I don't know. I can't tell you because they're keeping us in the dark on this. I'm about to run out of recording, so sorry this is sloppily edited in here. But one last thing to mention is Xbox's backwards compatibility is going to be like completely flawless. All your accessories will work backwards compatible. All your games, or most of the games I should say, will work backwards compatible. Where PlayStation 5 isn't being as consumer friendly. The PS4 controller will only work on backwards compatible PS4 games on that. You can't play PS5 games with the PS4 controller. I don't see why you can't do that. And also, they revealed that a lot of their games, especially the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games, are not going to be backwards compatible on the PlayStation 5. PS4 games, they're working on some titles, but you're not getting as much flexibility with backwards compatibility on the PlayStation compared to the Xbox. So circling back to the prices now that we've gone over all the different specs, there's really no wrong choice in your console. The Series X gives you the best graphics available on consoles right now for $499. The PS5 all digital is $100 cheaper for similar performance to that Series X. And then again, you have the Series S for another $100 cheaper. The Xbox payment plans make things even cheaper on day one and include Game Pass, which I think is a great value for the Series S and the Series X, but the Series S especially. It's a great budget gateway console for people just getting into gaming. It's a great gift option for the upcoming holiday season, especially after the whole pandemic happening this year. People are going to be tight on money. This is super cheap, especially if you go with the payment plan. And it's also a great secondary console option. I've seen a lot of PC players express interest in picking up the Xbox Series S, so you can have some of those next-gen experience with the console exclusive games, also having access to the PC games as well. I've seen some PlayStation players say, hey, you know what? I'm a PlayStation guy, but I might pick up the Xbox Series S for super cheap as well. I definitely, if PlayStation had an option similar to the Series S, I would definitely consider myself getting a PlayStation. So in the end, I'm personally going to be picking myself up a Xbox Series X. Hopefully if I can get my pre-order in September 22nd, next Tuesday is when the pre-orders go live for the Series X and the Series S. I've contemplated on getting the PlayStation 5 because those exclusive games, especially at launch, are very enticing, but I have another like 2 years on my Game Pass Ultimate on my current Xbox account. I have all my Xbox games I've built up over the years, all the accessories. So I'm going to be sticking with Xbox. And I personally prefer a disk drive in my console, which makes me want to get the more powerful Series X than the less powerful PlayStation 5 for the same price. I prefer the disk drive because I actually use the 4K Blu-ray player that's in there, so that's important to me. And another thing to consider, hopefully I can get this in a minute, is that the you can still buy and sell discs with the disc version of the console. And down the line, there may be game sales at certain retailers like Best Buy. They may have a game on sale for $20, so you have an option to pick that game up for cheap compared to if you had to get it digitally. So let me know what console you're going to get down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, support my channel by checking the links down below in the description. Thanks for watching. My name's Gator. I'll catch you on the next time. Peace out. It didn't die. Let's go. I did it.